Okay, testing. Good afternoon, everyone. Today I'm going to introduce peer-to-peer network to all of you. And before introducing it, I want to first introduce the traditional client-server network. In the client-server network, if a client wants to download file from the server, it will first send a request to the server, and once the server receiving the request from the client, it will respond the request from the clients and send the data out. But there's some problems. First, the number of servers relative to the number of clients is very small. So the broadband share by each client is actually very little. On the other hand, if the server is down, then the client will fail to receive the data from the server. So this will lead to the client cannot download the data. But human being is very clever, so we develop a new and advanced technology that is called a peer-to-peer network. And the core concept of the peer-to-peer network is that every peer plays the roles of both clients and servers. And what is the features? First, it do not involve a central server. And because every peers act as a client and server, therefore there's nothing called a central server. And also, because every peers are uploading during downloading, so they supply a portion of their resources, such as bandwidth, CPU cycle, and storage and content. And also, every peers can connect and disconnect at any time. For example, when this computer want to join this network, the other peers just share the file with it. And when one of the peers in these 5 peers want to leave, they just disconnect, and the remaining 4 peers will connect in other ways to continue file sharing. It has some advantages. First, in a traditional client server, increasing the number of clients will decrease the efficiency. But in a peer-to-peer networks, because every peer share the resources in the internet, so actually increasing the number of peers will actually increase the efficiency. Also, it has a higher capability of fault tolerance. Because a peer will connect to another peer when they find this peer has no response, and this leads to better efficiency. And also, because there is no central server, this avoids the network collapse due to server down, and then this is also called a problem of a single point of failure. And since peer-to-peer is such a powerful tool, it has many applications nowadays, and I think all of you are very familiar with at least one application, that is BitTorrent. How does BitTorrent work? When a publisher want to share the file, you first upload the torrent file to the internet, and at the same time, they will activate the file in the tracker and become the first peer of this file. And when other downloader wants to download the file, they just get the torrent file from the internet, and then get connected to the tracker and get the peer list, and then they will become the peers, and they can start downloading from the publisher. After some time, even the publisher leave, they can still continue downloading, because they have established a mutual connection between them, and also the file is already exists among the internet. But this BitTorrent is indeed a hybrid peer-to-peer network instead of a pure one, because it involves trackers. You may ask, what is the tracker? Is it a central server? Actually not. It does not participate in any uploading or downloading of the file. Instead, it controls all the administrative work, such as containing the peer list or matching the peers, something like that. So this is not a pure peer-to-peer network. Also, the file is divided into blocks of 255 kilobits, and the peers will will have a preference on downloading the blocks. It will prefer to download the rarest block such that the number of the rare block can be increased and hence further increase the efficiency of the file sharing. And there is a test for test technique. This is used to encourage the file sharing because you will upload the blocks to the peers who upload the other blocks to you in the highest rate, and vice versa. So you will tend to upload more because you will have a higher downloading rate by using this. Another very famous application is Skype, and it's a peer-to-peer voice over IP network, and aka VoIP. And it transmits data by package switching. The package is with the addressing and headers, and it's using the internet protocol to transmit the data. In other words, it makes use of the internet. And there is several advantages and disadvantages using the Skype, or generally speaking, the VoIP phone. At first, it's location independence, and no matter where you are, I can find you by calling your caller IDs, and also when no matter where I am, I can use the VoIP phone when there is an internet access. Also, thanks to the package switching, we can transmit more than one call at a time. And the low operation cost is one of the significant advantage of this, especially when it comes to the long distance call. And it's easily integrated with other services such as video call or file sharing. But this also has some drawback. First, because the system cannot locate the VoIP phone are unable to locate the location of the users, so it cannot correctly find the emergency call, and you can't use the VoIP phone when there is a power outage, unlike the traditional phone. Also, it's very internet reliant, because internet access is not everywhere, so you can't use the VoIP phone when there is no internet access. And it's difficult to handle fax, unlike the traditional one. And peer-to-peer is such a powerful tool. It brings us many convenience, but it still it brings us convenience, especially in communication. It boosts communication between users and users, especially in file sharing and video chatting, because it's quite demanding in the past. But it brings us some problems. The first thing is the copyright. For example, sharing a film is talking about several gigabytes. It's quite demanding in the past, but nowadays, thanks to the peer-to-peer network, it's very easy and common for us to share this. But how can we protect the copyrights of this? This is a very big problem. And another thing is that the security is not guaranteed, because usually the publisher is not authorized or is anonymous. So we cannot guarantee that the file has not been attached by some computer virus or Trojan horse. So the copyright is a very hot topic nowadays. So I think setting up regulation is of almost important, because it's quite discouraging for us to create new thing when copyright is not protected. And also, especially for BitTorrent, the single point of failure is quite a problem, because it's a hybrid peer-to-peer instead of a pure one. We can't tackle the problem that when a tracker is down, then how can we download the file? And the new or developing new technology called the DHT network is the distributed hash table, and it's a quite complicated network. But simply to say is distribute the information of the trackers among all the peers, so that we need not trackers to download the file. And I hope all of you can have a brief image of what peer-to-peer networks are going on. And thank you.